Hi everybody, this is Diana in LA and Cary in the UK, and we're here to talk about this week's stars. Welcome to our weekly reading where we explore all things astrological. From our two different points of view in two different locations in the world, we bring to you a unique astrological perspective on what is happening right now across the globe. So here we go. It's an interesting week as we start our engines. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday with a great big T-square. Lots of ferocious energy out there, a lot of upheaval again as we meet the week starting on Monday especially in a T-square. That T-square is with Sun, Pluto, and the Moon. One of the things that is going to be happening this week is that stellium that was in Aries and then was in Aries and Taurus now is all in Taurus, starting on Tuesday. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus, all in Taurus. 4 planets in fixed sign Taurus. So we've got big tectonic plates moving, structural change. Uranus is with the Sun and Venus and Mercury, right? So there's big movement that's underneath. In the world affairs, and from America particularly, we're starting to talk about getting out of Afghanistan. We're also finishing with the George Floyd trial, which will be determined pretty soon. I'm feeling it's going to be really soon. So it's an interesting week. We've got all these planets in Taurus. So here we go, Mr. Taurus. How's it going on your side of the world?
Well, as you said, it is going to be a very interesting week. And there's 2 T-squares this week. There's the one that you've mentioned, and there's the other one where the Moon is in Leo, squaring Uranus and Venus, opposed Saturn. So this is going to be a very interesting week, as you said, politically, and for the UK too. So there's a bit of a dichotomy happening at the moment, because on Monday and Tuesday, Mercury and the Sun go into Taurus, which creates a stellium in Taurus. So for all you Taurians out there, this is going to be quite a special week. Normally, when you've got this kind of stellium, it would be special, but when you've got the square to Saturn, it'll be a little bit harder than normal, but it will feel a very good week. And if you're a Taurian or any of the earth signs round about the beginning of the cycle of your sign, you're going to feel this. And if you meet anybody during this time, because if you've got with this Uranus conjunct Venus, if it happens to be conjuncting your Sun, for example, or trining your Sun, you could be meeting someone very special, meeting special people in groups. So it's quite a dynamic week, and you're really going to feel it. We're all going to feel it. And in addition, the UK, the population of the UK are going to feel really good, because the UK Sun is 10 degrees Capricorn, and Uranus and Venus will be trining it. And then later on in the week, Mercury joins it. So the UK will be feeling really good. The government, on the other hand, might not be feeling very good, because they have Mars at 11 degrees Taurus, and those 3 planets will be conjunct Mars, squaring Saturn. So that could affect the Teutonic plates of the UK politically. So very interesting week coming up. This is going to also be a very challenging week for the Joe Biden administration, because this administration, when it was formed on January the 20th, had its Uranus and Mars conjunct at 6 degrees Taurus. So this stellium is conjunct those 2 planets with Saturn squaring it. So some very big decisions. Some have already taken place, as you mentioned, pulling the troops out of Afghanistan, the announcement, also the sanctions that they're putting on the Russians, So there's lots of things happening, but it's a real challenge for that administration. So watch what happens politically there. You highlighted the George Floyd trial, and that could have ramifications, and that is a real Saturn square Uranus and Mars event.
Another thing that's happening this week is that Mars moves into Cancer. So while we've got this now big, strong stellium in Taurus, Mars has moved from Gemini into Cancer, and that happens on Friday. And so the beginning of the week is intense, it's sparky, and like Cary said, it affects those earth signs with that stellium maybe sitting on your sun or your moon or somewhere in your chart. I wonder where it is. Check. Where's those 4 planets are in Taurus, so it's really strong. And then Mars, the planet of movement and action and what we do, is moving into Cancer. And Cancer is nurturing. Cancer wants to heal. Cancer wants to hold for the common good. Cancer is protective. Cancer is the nest, it's the mother. And so Taurus is moving into that sign. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out over the next month or so.
And it will actually provide very favourable aspects to the Sun and Mercury because it's sextiles the Sun and Mercury as soon as it goes into Cancer. So again, it will lighten up the square of Saturn to Uranus with those 2 planets in the early part of Taurus, the Sun and Mercury, and it's sextiling them. So it's going to be a very good feel to the week, but there's a huge undercurrent. And I just want to point out, we talked about the square or the T-square with the moon in Leo. Anytime you get a T-square like that, it's very significant. And in probably a couple of months' time, Mars is going to be in that place. So it's important we watch what happens because around that time there's going to be some very significant things happening in the world, not just in the UK and the United States. So we are approaching very important times with regards to political decisions on both sides of the pond.
Right. And so the really big motion that has been going on for months now is Saturn square Uranus. Now, all week long, Saturn is squaring Uranus as usual, but now it's also squaring Venus, Mercury, and the Sun. So this Saturn energy, the tectonic plates, right? We are moving those structures, and those structures are changing. And even though it's trined on Friday and Thursday too by the moon, it's still being tested. It reminds me of forging steel. You keep dropping it into the fire to make the metal stronger. So we're all going through a big learning curve here in the world as we review those structures in our life, in our personal life, and in our world. And that is happening here in the US everywhere you look.
But there's something else which is also happening, which is a really nice aspect, and that's Mars is trining Jupiter. So that kind of frees things up a little bit. So it's not as negative as it could be with the square of Saturn to the stellium in Taurus. Stellium in Taurus is really important because when you have a stellium with Venus, Venus rules Taurus, so again it's making it easier having that feel of Venus with all the planets in Taurus. So all in all, yes, you got a couple of T-squares this week, but it's not as bad as it could be.
I've been calling it standing between a rock and a hard place a little bit. It does feel like these fixed signs. Fixed signs work slowly, they work like glacier, right? They move gradually. And they don't take action quickly. And we've just been coming out of areas where everything happens quickly, where Taurus slows down. And there is this kind of heavy energy that is in juxtaposition to each other, this contrasting energy that we're all kind of moving through as the world is looking together at these great big subjects that have to do with our ideals. Those ideals that we hold, right? And so Saturn, the ideals that we hold, the systems that we build upon those ideals that become the government, that become the Department of Water and Power, those things that are the basis, the basics of the way that the world runs, the economy, right? And the way we make decisions in the justice system and in politics. These are structures. Churches are part of that too. These great big structures are really being challenged and have been for months now. And now we've got a little bit more action to them with these T-squares at the beginning of the week that I think have to do with the George Floyd trial personally. But we'll see what happens.
Whatever the decision is on that trial, it's going to be explosive. And when I say explosive, I'm only saying that because when you have an administration which was the Mars conjunct Uranus, exact, that in itself is explosive. So when you've got the square of Saturn, and the Saturn is structure, the Saturn is political structure, it's going to be a changing landscape with this square to Uranus. And this square with Uranus is going to be there for quite a while. So that undercurrent is not going away, but it's good to focus on the really good stuff that's happening at this time. And having a stellium in Taurus, trined by the moon during this week, is really nice for Taurus. And being a Taurus myself, I'm really looking forward to this week, and hopefully it'll be a lovely week, and I hope to meet lots of very interesting people with Uranus and Venus conjunct my Sun. But anybody who's got a fast-moving planet at that degree will definitely be feeling the power of this stellium.
Right, so on that note, we'll leave you and wish you a very happy, interesting week in your life. And if you're enjoying these broadcasts, we hope that you will subscribe, you will share, like, and comment. We love to hear your comments. See you next week.
Yeah, take care, everybody, and have a lovely week. Bye.